Queen Elizabeth II, revered, I think, around the world, and extraordinarily so in Republican America, seems to have really, I think, evoked enormous respect throughout her reign. Now she's passed. I think we've lost a noble figure, someone who was quite inspirational.
She was regal. It fit her. It's tough to say from the distance, but to the extent that one could say one knew her, one, at least for me, all she did was elicit respect. Not just for herself, which was clear, but for the institution of the monarchy. I think she did something for the British in the regal bearing, the non-political nature of her pronouncements. It's a real loss, and I feel bad in saying this, and I mean it quite sincerely. It's bad because I don't have the same reverence for her son, who seems to have been affected, like so many in my generation of baby boomers, by stupidity from the universities and the media. And I mean stupidity, and I hate to use that word too, because he's not stupid in the sense of not having brain matter. But he's bought pretty much everything that was sold to us from the 70s at college and universities, including the existential threat of climate change. None of us deny climate change. We deny that it's an existential threat. Brits can't pay their bills to heat their homes or cool them in the summer. And it's all because of this fanaticism, this new secular religion called environmentalism. Anyway, I'm going off the beaten track, forgive me, but it's a double loss. He ascends to the throne, and we lost her.
What do you think it was about her model of leadership that inspired people? I.e., what can we learn from the way that she did it, given that everywhere you go at the moment, people are saying, where's our Churchill, where's our Lincoln, where's our Truman, where's our Reagan?
And, well, we had her. She had a bearing that fit her position. As I said, a regal bearing. She didn't go for cheap thrills. There was a sense of dignity that I love about anybody. You could have dignity when you're 18. It's not a matter of age. So if I may be personal, and it may be even wrong to be self-referential here, but I'll take that risk. I have received calls, because I do a radio talk show, 40 years talking not only to people but with people. Very common since, I guess, even my 40s. Young men would call and say, I just want you to know you're a father figure to me. And I thought about that a lot. Why was I a father figure to so many young men and continue to be? I only know it again from their saying it to me. Part of it is that they didn't have a father to have as a father figure.
Huge numbers in this
Huge,
country.
exactly. But the other is, I am at peace with being a grown-up. She was at peace with being a grown-up. This is not a concept one speaks about often. My generation of baby boomers, as we're called, the post-World War II children, did not want to grow up. A lot of my generation, never trust anyone over 30 was the stupidity of the age. And they didn't grow up when they became 60. Kids need grown-ups. It's a chaotic world for young people if grown-ups are not grown-ups. She was a grown-up. And it sounds little, but it's big. She so she carried this persona that meant a lot to people, including me.
It often seems to me when I look at my own country, and I know you know a bit about Australia, we'll come to that in a moment, but that the three great guiding political philosophies, which I suspect in many ways derived from our Christian sort of heritage in their own way. One was a sort of social democracy, left of centre, Christian Democrats perhaps in the European tradition, then classic liberals, not in the sense that you mean them here in America, but classic liberals, small government, personal responsibility and all the rest of it, and then conservatism. And the thing that was said about conservatism was that, or is said now, all three categories are broken down. So the left seems to be about victimhood politics and making a new aristocracy out of people who have been identified by grievance studies as somebody you can weaponise. That's pretty tough, but it does seem that way to me often. Liberals, well, they're all into big government now. They don't seem to believe in limited government. And the Conservatives are left with nothing left to conserve. But the passing of the Queen seems to me, I'd hate to label her, but she represented that capacity to represent the best of the things that never change, that shouldn't be let go. What are your thoughts on...
No, that's perfectly said. I can't even add to it. That's exactly what she did. She carried on. I think of her son as the embodiment of the 60s, 70s. I think of her as the embodiment of English history.